Welcome back to JUCO Jam. This is season 4, episode 7. We are joined by someone who speaks fluent Southlander, Brandon Goebel, the JUCO advocate himself. Mr. Goebel, welcome back to JUCO Jam.
Hey, buddy. Let's see what we got for JUCO hoops this week, huh?
Well, we had a great week that was. Let's get into the rewind. On Thursday night, in an incredible environment at Mississippi Gulf Coast, Jones goes on the road, the Bobcats, with a big 81-75 win. Just an amazing atmosphere. Five Jones Bobcats in double figures. Karan Jackson led the way with 17 points off the bench. It was such a close game, but Mississippi Gulf Coast really struggled from three, hit only 3 out of 22. And then probably the game of the week, CSI Snow in Twin Falls, CSI with a huge 84-76 win. Snow is led by McCaden Adams with 21 points. CSI hit virtually everything, 12 out of 27 from three. Ace Riser, the diminutive point guard, had 24 points. Cooper Kessler off the bench with 20. Two great wins, CSI and Jones. Brandon, what do you think about Thursday night hoops in the week that was?
Yeah, that place was popping for the Mississippi Gulf Coast game. Obviously, that's a huge, game for them, knowing how good Jones has been coming in there. But Newton Mealer does as good of a job as anybody in junior college preparing guys for a tough environment like that. So, big win for them there. And then that Snow CSI game was one that we'd had circled for a long time. Snow right up there at the top of the rankings, CSI climbing their way up. This is as good as we've seen CSI in a long time, I think. And so, that just really good to see a blue blood program like that back competing the way that we know they can.
Absolutely. Saturday, we had a lot of great games. We're going to talk about two really quickly. Tallahassee, 86-78 winners over Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast was led by Trent Lincoln. He had 20 points, but Tallahassee made him earn it. 6 out of 18 from the field. Tallahassee had three Golden Eagles in double figures, led by Shane Cherry with 22. Rod McAllen, I like Rod Mc. 7 assists, 1 turnover. I like that in a guard. And then Dodge City held on to beat Seward 79-77 for first place in the Jayhawk. Seward had four guys in double figures, RJ McKinney and Antonio Williams with 20 each. The Conquistadors, four guys in double figures. Wesley Rosa, we talked about him last week, Brandon. We had some horse sense. We saw something. 13 points, 9 boards, 8 blocks, including the game winner at the end. What did you think about that great day of Saturday basketball?
Man, Corey Hendren has Tallahassee rolling right now. Really grabbing that program by the bootstraps and bringing them back to national relevance. It seems to be kind of the trend a little bit this year, I think. Good in the past that have been down a little bit recently and have kind of risen back to prominence, Tallahassee being one of them. And then Seward Dodge, I mean, Wesley Rosa messing around with a triple double in blocks.
Amazing.
That's pretty cool.
I think he got
Unbelievable
really
kid.
motivated being, a featured player last week on JUCO Jam, and
That
he's like,
happens to people. They hear their name. People start calling them. They start asking for autographs. It just makes them feel good.
um,
But just
I,
another great, rock fight in the Jayhawk.
I think it's also fair to mention that Coach Hendren has to be the best dressed coach in the Panhandle, right? In a league where the coaches have gone very athleisure. Coach Hendren, that's a sharp dressed man.
I've known Corey Hendren for a long time. He's always been a sharp dressed man.
And then Monday, South Plains 87-82 win over New Mexico. Really important win for South Plains. I think this is a game where both coaches probably left infuriated at their team. South Plains led by as many as 18 before New Mexico tied the game late at 81. RJ Nance, left-handed guard for New Mexico, I thought was absolutely terrific. He had 23 points, and Antalas Sandlinell had 23 for South Plains. But I don't think either coach is happy. I mean, I think New Mexico, Coach McKay is probably just irate that they got down 18, and I think Coach Boone at South Plains is probably I don't know, maybe guys are still running on the line from them blowing an 18-point lead and kind of limping to the finish before finishing strong in the last minute. I mean, I would imagine that these guys are looking at this as, hey, we got a lot to work on down the stretch here.
Yeah, South
Coaches can't
Plains
be
really
happy this
needed
time of
that
year
one.
anyways. I think that's important to note. Coaches cannot be
Yeah,
happy in January.
yeah. New Mexico is a Hutch caliber team. South Plains really needed that win. I'm not sure that was the way that he wanted to go about it, but hey, you get the W, you move on.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, but a win is a win. Brandon, if we shall, let's transition to the rundown. Usually I have a pretty firm ruling of we feature 10 games a week. This week I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. We're doing 11. We're doing 11. All right. I got a three pack for you for Wednesday. And of course, this will, you know, as you're listening to this, we will already know the results of these games. Fun nonetheless to discuss. All right, Wednesday night, Tallahassee at Chipola. Chipola somehow 0-2 in Panhandle play. No easy outs there. Tallahassee in first place in the Panhandle at 2-1. Northwest Florida versus Gulf Coast. Both teams are 1-1. And then an interesting one in the Jayhawk, Coffeyville. They're 7-5, tied for fourth. Butler 8-4, tied for second, behind Dodge, who's 9-3. So Butler 1 game out, Coffeyville 2 games out. Everybody's in this. I think there's really 8 to 9 teams in the Jayhawk that are kind of within like 2, 3 games at the top. What excites you the most, or what intrigues you about Wednesday junior college basketball?
Honestly, I've got that Coffeyville Butler game circled. Chipola is an interesting one because they really need that W at home to kind of right the ship. But that Coffeyville Butler game, they have so many conference games that you can have so many teams that are competing for that title, and all of a sudden it can get away from you if you don't really lock in this late January, early February timeframe. So every one of these you say every game's a must win, right? Um, but this is kind of getting to that point where you got to start rattling some off.
Trying to get hot at the right time. All right, we got another three pack for you on Thursday. A couple, I mean, they're all great. We got Howard, they're 4-0 in the Whack Jack, first place, looked terrific in their last game out versus Western Texas. And then Odessa, 2-2. They lost two, they win two. Um, that's going to be a good one. It's at Odessa. Snow travels to Utah State Eastern. It's a terrific matchup. And then you get a couple of really angry teams. You got Midland 4-1 in the Whack Jack traveling to New Mexico 2-2. I mean, that's gonna be feisty. Both of those, to me, like Midland, New Mexico, both teams coming off a loss. Like I got that one like circled. I want to see that.
Yeah, that's the primetime showdown there. New Mexico needs to hold serve at home to kind of maintain their position there in that whackjack ranking because the way that that Texas league works, to you basically have a whole bunch of teams that should qualify for the regional tournament, but not everybody will, right? Um,
They
so
get
that's
you
a
get
tough one.
four from the Whack Jack, go to the region tournament, right? Because then you got four from the North Texas League that,
Right.
McLennan and Colin. Yeah, so you really want to stay in that top three. You don't want to be in a situation where you're tied for fourth or anything like that.
Right.
All right.
And Howard at Odessa has a new wrinkle to it with Terry Copeland being out. It sounds like until, at Hutch. Like he may be able to play at Hutch. Unfortunately, suffered a leg fracture, but such a huge part of what Howard does. They played West Texas, I think Western Texas last night, just to kind of, they had a big win, but it was, feeling out like, hey, what's our rotations going to look like?
Yeah, I think early on they were up, I think 46-19, and then it was kind of like even, kind of in the second half, and maybe Western Texas maybe outscored them a little bit, but they came out, looked great. But over a long season that wears on you in the Whack Jack, you're certainly going to miss Terry Copeland at some point. All right, Brandon, bear with me. I got 5 games on Saturday. I'm going to break them up into 2 segments for you. Battle of the East Coast. To me, East Coast basketball doesn't start until there's a Monroe Harkham game. We got Monroe Harkham on Saturday. Gulf Coast Pensacola. Pensacola 2-1. They're idle on Wednesday, but they're tied for first. Three Rivers Moberly. Three Rivers looking good. Like I think if you threw out the records and you just said, I want to watch the last 3 games every team in the country has played, I think Three Rivers is a top 20 team right now. And then going on the road to Moberly, never an easy place. Last game out, Moberly lost to State Fair. Coach Smith is going to have them ready to go. What excites you about that initial three-pack Saturday action?
Hey, I always love that Monroe Harcum game. Like that's just a cool rivalry that is a little bit out on its own away from, maybe the heart of junior college and the rest of the country. So I always tune into that one. I think those coaches do a great job. It's just and it's two teams that there's a good chance we see one of them at Hutch as a district winner. So um, yeah, that one I'm interested in just because it's unique and different
I want to
and
get the
always has a good
pulse of what's
rivalry.
going on in
Yeah.
East Coast JUCO hoops. Get the vibes out there. So yeah, I'm definitely want to watch that one. All right, final two for you on Saturday as we conclude the rundown. Chipola at Northwest Florida. You know, two legendary coaches there, Coach Donnie Tyndall, Coach Steve DeMayo, and then what was one of the greatest rivalries of all time in junior college basketball that has somewhat fizzled over the years, Wabash Valley at Vincennes. What excites you the most about that final twosome?
Well, that Chipola Northwest Florida game could be impacted by what happens Wednesday, right? With kind of where everybody is sitting at that point coming in. That could be some desperation basketball to a point where they're either going to be feeling really good after some wins, or they're gonna be feeling like they're in a bad spot after some losses on Wednesday.
All right.
So that one could get chippy.
I'm going to ask you a question. We'll dive into it more as the year goes along. I know coaches are on the edge of their seat on this. The way that the Florida State tournament works is you only get three teams from the Panhandle that goes to an eight-team state tournament. Um, could you have a team from the Panhandle that does not go to their state tournament that ends up getting an at-large bid to Hutch?
Is there a rule against that? I'm not sure if there
There's not a rule against it. I'm just like, what do you think that's just like bad vibes? I don't think they would do it.
probably not. I mean, look, we have thoughts. I don't know if anybody that watches this understands that Nick and I have opinions and thoughts on things. Um, my thought, and this goes to some other areas as well.
Could be West
Let's
Texas. This the
let's
same
it
thing
could
could
be
apply for the fifth place West Texas team.
it could be my thoughts are why don't we just figure out how to get the best teams into these things and not worry about which side of uh,
Which
the
side of the
Gulf
railroad
we're
tracks
on.
they're from or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little odd that we do it that way, but hey, nobody asked our opinion, even though we have one. So
So you would not be against a fourth Panhandle team or a fifth West Texas team. I think that's fair. Let's just get the best. If they're the best, they're the best, right?
yep, yep. That's what we're trying to do.
All right, that's good stuff. All right, stay with us. When we return after this commercial break, we will be back in the spotlight with CSI head coach Jeff Reinert.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are so excited to have a returning coach with us, Coach Jeff Reinert from CSI. The Eagles having a great season, 19-1 so far. Your only loss at home to Odessa, coming off a great week, beating two ranked opponents, Snow and Utah State Eastern. Coach, CSI is soaring right now, and thanks so much for joining us on JUCO Jam.
Well, thanks for having me. CSI is in a good spot right now, had a great week, and we're moving forward. But, you're only as good as your next game. So, as we are very well aware.
I tell you, you have a really fun team to watch. You got five guys in double figures. I think Jalen Lynn is currently your leading scorer at about 16 points a game. And I like teams that shoot the ball really well. I just find it fun to watch. You guys are hitting close to 8 threes a game, 36%. That's what I enjoy watching you guys. You guys have a good atmosphere at CSI, so that helps as a fan. But what are you enjoying the most about coaching this year's team?
Well, I think this year's team is unique in the aspect that the ball really moves. We have a elite point guard, Nace Reiser, and it starts with him usually. Two experienced returning players, and Jalen Lind and Nathan Honor. Those two guys lead us through experience, and then we have a bunch of freshmen. We got a sophomore transfer who's been Ben Thorbrew, who's been really a pleasant surprise for us, able to play inside and outside. But the ball really moves. We're able to share it, and when you do that, you have five guys that can put the ball in the basket. It makes us hard to guard. But I think that probably the most unique thing we're an excellent defensive team. All the guys defend their positions well, and we're a tough team, I believe. So I think the toughness and the ball movement. We're now shooting the ball at a nice clip in league, and that's because of the ball movement. We've got open shots, and we've just been rotating our bigs, and we've just been praying that we keep and stay healthy. We haven't been healthy the last 2 years. I call it the Walker Timmy era, and Timmy was hurt a lot, and it really hurt us the last 2 years because we relied on him so much.
Every year it seems like I really fall in love with a couple of players throughout junior college basketball, and I can't get enough of watching them play. And Ace for you guys is one of those guys. I think he has 2.5 plus steals a game. Last week, I think he hit 8 out of 9 from three. Seems like he's always making the right play. Just talk a little bit about him. Like, what is his story? I think on the broadcast versus Snow, they said he signed with Idaho for next year. But like, what's his story? How did he come to choose CSI?
Well, Ace's story is a long one. I coached his uncle at Utah Valley, Jordan Mulford, who is a 5'10" guard that played for me and then played at Southern Utah for Bill Evans, ironically, at Eastern Utah. And Ace is his uncle, and so sorry, Jordan's his uncle. So I knew about Ace for a while. Was a very good player, was a Division I player, but at 5'11", there's not a lot of need for those guys, and he was going to go on a mission, and so he didn't get a Division I offer, and so we signed him. He came home early last year from his mission, and we welcomed him with open arms, and we realized how a good a player that we had in the spring, and then he just hit the ground running. He finally got it going. He's played well, but he really hit stride last week and took over. Jalen was out versus the Eastern game and really stepped up and played well. He's a special young man. He's in the gym all the time. I mean, you think about all the social media posts about like Larry Bird being in the gym and saying that it didn't surprise him when he made shots. Ace Reiser's on the court right now. He's in there every morning. He's in there every night. He's one of our hardest workers. He's a connector. He connects to everybody on the team, and he's got humility. And guys follow him.
Now, Brain and we've talked about it. At some point at the national tournament, we would love to have a JUCO Jam free throw shooting contest. I believe that Ace has the ability to compete in a national JUCO Jam free throw shooting contest, maybe against the great Brandon Goebel. I mean, as a coach, are you concerned? Like, I think he's shooting 70% from the line. We got to give him something to work on here.
It's funny. He missed a couple of free throws about a month ago, and his mother was here and his father was here. And right after the game, he's on the court shooting free throws with his dad, who was a collegiate athlete. And his mother cheered at the University of Utah when I was an assistant coach at BYU. And I saw them down there shooting, and I'm leaving the gym, and the mother's up top. And I said, hey, Ace missed a couple of free throws, and she goes, "I can't believe it. I mean, it's embarrassing that he would miss free throws." Like, I was
They're
like,
free.
"Yeah,
Hey, on
and,
JUCO Jam, we try to be fair and balanced here,
yeah,
Coach.
yeah,
We love Ace. We need him to make his free throws, though.
yeah.
Point
I
guard's
know.
got to
Yeah,
hit those.
yeah. I think that he in league though he's come true. He's 19 of 23. So
Sounds like mom got the message across.
yeah, mom got the message across. Don't come home unless you're making free throws. So I don't know. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the conference. I know some of these teams, Utah State Eastern probably doesn't get the national recognition that it deserves, a very good basketball team. But I think, the fact you get, the Scenic West has three ranked teams as well as, North Idaho, Salt Lake being very talented squads. I mean, I think that's really good for your league and getting you ready to compete for a national title.
Well, Bill's having as good a year as he's had in the 7 years that I've been here. I think he's got kids he likes to coach, and they are tough. They're physical and they can play. Um, the scary thing is, I think North and Salt Lake are very talented, and they haven't played great yet, but it's coming. And for the rest of the league, that's a scary thing because we have to play at Salt Lake twice, but we have to play at North twice. So I'm well aware of North and Salt Lake. And, when North came back into the league, that's the biggest rival here at CSI, as well as a rival with Salt Lake. And now Snow's a rival. I mean, so we're almost everybody's rival.
Yeah, everybody's a rival.
Yeah, but that comes along with the success that's been here before. Fred Trinkle set the standard. I mean, you go through the list of coaches that have been here. My job is not to screw it up and try to keep it going in the right direction. But the league is strong. It is strong, and North and Salt Lake are very good basketball teams. Their record does not show it, but both coaches are very good coaches, and they're coming after us. So I know that.
All right, Coach, I think I've got you good and warmed up. I gave you a lot of softball questions. I'm going to hand it over to the heavy hitter,
Okay.
and he'll bring it home for us.
Now, Nick, I noticed in the notes here you missed asking him, what was it about the Rocky Mountain Jamboree that set up CSI for all this success that they've had?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're watching the live stream, Nick, but whew, CSI looked a little different in that Rocky Mountain Jamboree.
Yeah. So,
this year, 30, 40-point wins, something like that. I personally know that was really the spark that lit the fire this year. That's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's a deep scout. Yeah,
Coach,
that's a deep scouting report to go back to Jamboree.
Well,
I would ask Coach Reinert some detailed questions about the Jamboree that early morning.
It was so funny too, Coach, because you guys came in and you were there. I think it was just the one day, right?
Yeah, we were
And
just doing
so
one day.
he came in, beat everybody by 40, and was like, "All right, we're out of here." I'm like, "What just happened?"
Drop the mics, flies home.
Yeah. Well, we had gone to Dallas and played decent. All the pieces weren't together, and then we went out to Denver. And in junior college, you try to maximize your money. So we had a flight that we had booked a long time ago, and Brandon and Jeff Dolan worked with us, and I said, "Hey, we got to play the first game. We got to play another game shortly after that because the
Right after.
Yeah, and so I can't remember the first team we played, but we won by 49, and then we played Midland.
Oh,
And
Midland
I'm like,
was second. Okay.
yeah, and I was like, I was really worried because I just didn't think we were ready. And we beat them by 49. And the coach and I have talked, coach from Midland, and
And then he left.
we've stayed in contact because I know how their season's going and how successful he's doing. And I thought they had a good team, but I literally did no coaching in that game. They were locked in. The ball was, we were knocking down shots. We were getting steals. We were rebounding. We played well. And those jamborees, you never know whether you're going to be good or not. And we played great in that jamboree. And I think some people noticed that because, we weren't rated very high at the start of the year, and but we didn't have a lot of returning players. So I think nationally people didn't know how good we were. We only have 3 sophomores on this team. The rest are freshmen, and we have 4 bigs that we rotate. And then, you have the other 4 starters, but our benches, we have 2 kids off the bench that are dynamite from Idaho, the Kessler brothers, Cooper and Kobe. They're 1 year apart, returned Mormon missionaries. And Cooper is having a year. You wouldn't know that he could play. He's 6'2". He's skinny. He's got game. He's playing great. He started probably, I think, about half the games because of injuries or whatever. And he's like our 6th starter and our secret weapon. And people underestimate him. And he's a very, very good player. He can bounce it. He can shoot it. Plays defense. He's an impact guy. He's got a great personality. He's a Division I player. We have 4 kids that have already committed, and then we had a 5th one that left at semester who we were redshirting. Trey Curry out of Arizona went to Fort Lewis at semester. He hadn't played, and they lost 2 players, 2 point guards, and they needed a point guard. And so our mission here is to try to put kids in situations that they can be successful and get a 4-year scholarship, and it worked out well. So that's our 5th player. There's more Division I players on this team that are going to go, and we're just thrilled how the season's going. But we're well aware of Salt Lake coming in this weekend, and then then we got to go on the road and play at Eastern and at Snow, and that's going to be a challenge.
Well, Coach, let's just imagine for a second before we let you go that you get the big 49-point jamboree win, and you say, you know what, the guys have earned something special. So before we head to DIA and deal with that chaos, we're gonna pop over to Chili's. What are you eating at Chili's?
Well, I think you asked me this question the last time I was there.
Seeing if tastes have changed.
Yeah, no. Listen, Chili's is kind of high end, to be honest with you, for a JUCO. We usually go to Cane's, and we feel like we're upscaling to Cane's. But I'll start with the chips and salsa because the chips are thin and crispy. The salsa's great. And then I get the chicken crispers. I love the honey mustard, and that's what I do. So if I'm splurging and I go there, that's what I'm getting. So
we rack up a few wins at the national tournament in Hutch. We'll let the AD will spring for a trip to Chili's, right?
Yes, 100%. But when you go to Hutch, there's the Mennonite restaurant, and we hit that first. And we've stumbled at the national tournament a couple. I know you guys know that, and we've got to change that if we were lucky enough to get there. But the Mennonite fried chicken meal is unbelievable, and we will never miss it.
Where is this? Is that in Yoder? That little town?
Yes, it is in Yoder, right there. Yeah, it is the best. Like, we can't get enough of that. So,
wow. All right.
I know what we're doing Friday night in Hutch, Brandon.
Yeah, we may have to
the fried chicken.
Make a stop in. So
yeah, you'll never regret it.
We appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to watching you the rest of the way. Good luck this season. And when we come back, we're going to get into the grind.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for 2-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are going to transition to featuring one of the best players in junior college basketball this year, Ace Reiser, the diminutive point guard from CSI, 6 foot, 165 pounds. He's from South Jordan, Utah, committed to the University of Idaho. 14 points a game, 48% from threes. Brandon, for 6 foot 165, he had a 15 rebound game this year, 15 boards. I like that. Last week, he had
That's
eight out of
flying
nine.
around.
Yeah, 8 out of 9 threes, 4 for 4 versus Snow. Unfortunately, he did miss a three versus Utah State Eastern. He hit 4 out of 5. 89% from three is a pretty good week for a 6 foot point guard who can get you 15 boards. What are your thoughts on Big Ace?
Hey, if you can get a really good point guard in JUCO these days, it's going to take you a long ways. And CSI is playing as good as they have in the Reinert era, and a lot of that has to do with Ace.
I feel like we just need to cue Motorhead play Ace of Spades throughout this segment, but he is having a terrific year. You can have good big guys in JUCO, and they're really just like a luxury. You may not be any good, but if you don't have a good point guard in JUCO, you really have no chance. And you have to have that guy. Ace is that guy for CSI. He has been really fun to watch this year. Speaking of point guards that we all know and love, former national champion, going to the show, Kamari Peterson, John A. Logan, East Tennessee State. He's now at Washington. He was the SoCon Player of the Year, 19 and a half points per game, 4.5 assists. He's doing really well at Washington, averaging 10 points a game. He's playing 30 minutes. He's fifth in the Big Ten in steals. And it's just nice to see a guy come to junior college basketball, finds a good fit in John A. Logan, wins a national title, and then makes a great decision to go to a place where he can play and contribute, which has then elevated him to Washington. I know Brandon has some Kamari Peterson thoughts, and we're going to have Brandon's thoughts after this commercial break, and that will be our sixth man.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We're transitioning to the sixth man. We just talked a little bit about Kamari Peterson, and I know you have some thoughts on the point guard, Brandon.
Yeah, I have always loved Kamari's game. He's an awesome kid. Heck of a job at John A. Logan and East Tennessee State. And now, like you said, killing it up at Washington. I was in Seattle, went over to see the squad and the staff and was in the office, and Danny Sprinkle was talking about Kamari and just like how elite of a human being he is and teammate and all that sort of stuff. But then he said, and I think this is the game. I believe it was when they went to USC. He said, Kamari's a starter. And so there was a player on the team that was from the LA area. So Kamari comes into Danny's office before the game and says, Coach, I want, and I don't remember who the other player was, but I want him to start in my place because he's going to have 200 people there to watch him play. So I'd like him to start, and I'll come off the bench this game. And Danny just said, that was like just a microcosm of who Kamari Peterson is. And it's just awesome to see him being successful, especially given the kind of character that he has, but a real leader and the type of player and person that others should try and emulate.
Yeah, that's awesome. That reminds me, like if you're watching the show and you're enjoying it, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a coach that you want to have on the show, reach out to us. We've had a lot of different coaches on from different parts of the country. If there's a player that you think that we should feature, reach out to us as well. We're always looking for stories like that and for guys to talk about. But Brandon, what a great week of junior college basketball we just came off of. We're in the heart of conference season. We featured 11 games that are coming up this week. I hope everyone out there has a great week of junior college basketball, and we'll see you here, same place, same time next week.